Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. Yeah, hey, look, your boy got real professional up in this thing. I got this pop mic filter going on a Monday morning. Come on, somebody.
Come on, Twan. Hey, you got that pop filter. I got my Larry King mic. What's up?
Look, I can't afford the Larry King mic yet. That's why I got this cheaper version. But hey, look, your boy's looking live at, well, not 5, but at 9 o'clock. Hey, what's going on, Facebook family? Here we are back again on a Monday morning. We want to give you guys some raw content. Like, this is straight off the skillet. This is literally straight off the skillet. So, hey, if you guys don't know who I am, it's your boy Twan Nguyen coming in live at 9 o'clock with Corey Davis. And I'm joined today by our wonderful group of shift makers today. And, just thank you for being on the call. We do this, we've been doing this pretty frequently every single Monday morning. And we decided, you know what, this content today is so good that we got to drop it. We got to drop it like it's hot. And we decided we want to share this today. But I want to start off with this. I want to start off by just reading something because I think this is powerful. And just hear me out. In the headline today, we put that leadership is colored. We talked about this is a perspective shift. And Corey, I want to ask you this right here. Have you ever found yourself in the middle of a heated debate lately where two sides were pulling at you, trying to get you to be on their side and stand against the other side? Something I realize is in a lot of my conversations lately, we're asked to pick a side. Are you with Black people? Are you with white people? Are you with Asians, Hispanics? Are you racist? Or are you woke? Are you for the police? Or are you with the community? Here's another one. Are you with CNN or Fox News?
Come on. Hey, what about this one, Twan? Are you a Dallas Cowboy fan or a Houston Texan fan?
Bro, don't get me started with Dallas and Houston, bro. We can go at it all day. I could take you through so many disputes we've had because we were for one team versus the other team. If you're a Republican or Democrat, if you're for Trump or you against Trump. And it seems like this sort of division is so prevalent in our culture today, especially when it comes to the issue of race. Literally, if you turn on the TV right now for 5 minutes, you'll see how division in our culture is creating what Pastor Miles McPherson says, the us versus them mentality. What do you think about that?
Dude. So powerful. Yeah. I think he talked about that third option. I don't know if for those who are part of our church family and some of the churches around the country has played that third option was just so powerful. That we have a third option. And today we want to just kind of share some insights on a couple of things and just kind of engage you. And as we talk about this, when we're on this platform, and here's the deal, you hear it, Twan and I, we go on this platform every week, and it's about how do we be a positive social distraction to you to help you get started in your day. This is like Monday morning motivation here. Monday morning motivation. I think that's the best way I can put it there, Twan. But today we're going to talk about a topic that many would call the elephant in the room. And Twan, you asked me that question. You said, hey, have I ever been on the side of a heated debate? Well, here's the deal. From me and my corporate experience, I've always been on the side of a heated debate, whether it may be, hey, from an HR perspective, it's the manager feels one way about something, a person that's getting held accountable feels another way, and it turns to what we call this crucial conversation. And, I've taught out this crucial conversation construct where you have this heated debate where one side feels so emotionally charged, the other side is emotionally charged, and it ends up in a crucial conversation. Have you ever been in a crucial conversation, anyone? It's like a married couple. Come on, it's like a married couple. They get in a crucial conversation, and what happens? They played a quiet game for 3 or 4 days. All right. Who's ever played the quiet game? Hit yes in the comments. Look, I'm going to comment right here on the Facebook. Yes, I've played the quiet game. Some people are quiet game masters at this point. So the question, I guess, is, are you mastering the quiet game because of a crucial conversation you didn't deal with the right way? And we want to have some energy in it. And yes, we want to make sure we engage you in this topic because we want you to really think through of those crucial conversations you may have had. And how does it actually start? Because a lot of times my crucial conversations, Sam, I see you in our Zoom room. And for those who want to be in the Zoom room, hey, get inside, get some VIP access by getting part of the group, right? Sam, it was because my attachment to being right. I was so attached to being right that I didn't get a chance to see, I'll say, my wife's side of the story. I was listening not with the intent to listen. I was listening with the intent to talk. And I couldn't see her perspective, Twan. And that's just me. That's my journey, y'all. That's my journey.
And we're gonna talk about that later, because that's what you call a blind spot, homie. That's what you call a blind spot, homie. Right?
A blind spot. Come on, man.
We're gonna look. Hey, you guys, do me a favor. Check this out. I want you guys to chime in right now with where you guys are tuning in from on the Facebook live stream. I want you guys to really engage in this, because what we're going to share with you guys today is going to be extremely valuable, and so many of us need to hear this message. I realized the main reason why me and Corey decided to do this was because we heard a powerful message yesterday from our pastor and Miles McPherson on the third option. And as we just took a deep dive yesterday, I thought to myself, I was like, man, half the world will never hear this message. And so we're not going to use our platform to really speak the truth in what we discovered yesterday. I think I got a lot of revelation yesterday from what Pastor Miles McPherson talked about. So today we decided we're going to whip things up a little bit. I like to whip things up down here in H-Town, because that's how we do things up. We mix things up. So we jazzed up a little message and a little lesson today. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to tag somebody that needs to hear this message today on how leadership is color. Leadership is color. If you look at the room right now, it's nothing but diversity. And we are all people of color.
That's a great point.
You guys agree?
Look at all the color in this room.
Right. It's not a black and white thing. Come on, get off of that. It's not a black and white thing.
Love it, because here's the deal, y'all. There's diversity on here, and what I want to do is take it one step further, because we want to also have that feeling of inclusion. See, diversity is what you see, and you can see diversity. Hey, you got diverse colors in the room, people of color, right? And everybody's a person of color. Guess what? Black is a color, white is a color, brown is a color. As we heard Pastor McPherson talk about, we're all colorful, and that's a great thing, and embracing it. So we can embrace the diversity and see the diversity. But think about the inclusion part. Inclusion is, do I feel I matter? Do I feel my opinion matters to the people that's around me? See, diversity is what you see. Inclusion is what you feel. It's kind of like this. It's kind of like, hey, getting invited to a party. So everybody go to the party. Everybody's in the party. That's the diverse group of people in the party. But getting invited to dance is the inclusion part. See, when you get invited to dance, that means you're included, and you're included in the conversation. You're included in everything that happens in the room. And that's part of what the perspective we're talking about is. How do we help others feel included? But first off, figuring out our perspective, their perspective, and leadership perspective.
Yeah, and here's what I want you guys to think about here is I need you to quit looking at a person as a friend or a foe, okay? Because here's the thing, we're not the enemy. We're not. And so here's the thing, because society has created this us versus them mentality, our slightest difference creates division. One single disagreement will cause division and stir up strife between two people that have way more in common than you can possibly imagine.
Yeah, I like that last part you said, that people have way more in common. But Twan, how do you find out if you have things in common with people? And I know that you talk to a lot of people. You network with a lot of folks, even on social media. Matter of fact, you're a networker. Here's how I know about this about Twan. He's a networker because before I got a chance to be with Twan reached out to me. And then, we went to Florida together. We were at the International Maxwell Convention because we both certified teachers with the John Maxwell team. And Twan set that meeting up. He's like, hey, I see you in Houston. I do want to network with you. I want to meet you. Hey, let's talk. Let's kind of just see where we can go from here. So he's a great networker. So when you look at that, how do you find out, how do you relate to other people, Twan?
I just got to step in. I mean, literally, like, connecting is a skill and it requires energy. Let's first define what connecting is, okay? So connecting is having the ability to identify and relate to someone so that you can get influence. One more time. Connecting is having the ability to identify and relate to a person so that you can gain influence. My tagline is, you got to find them before you try to lead them. Come on.
Oh,
and
yeah.
what I'm seeing a lot of today is everybody's trying to tell people what they need to be doing, and they're not asking the great questions. They're not taking the effort in connecting with people. Instead, they're just directing. And a lot of times our voices get even louder because we want to get our point across, but the people aren't listening.
That's an interesting point you just brought up as far as directing to connecting. I know we talked about this shift on Saturday with our group that's literally on the call right now. And part of that shift is, how do I stop seeing just my side and then also connecting with the other person and see their side? One interesting thing I would tell you, one note that I'll bring up is, here's what I found true in my life. And this is just me, all right? I'm here to just kind of share my story. This is a way, not the way. I found that true in my life, it's in order for me to be successful as a leader, I needed to be able to see things from the other person's perspective. See, it's like this. It's like, when Twan talked about the directing versus connecting, and what we talked about in our group is, if I had a beach ball in my hand, right? And it had all these different colors. It had red, yellow, green, white, blue, purple, whatever your favorite color is, right? I had it in front of me and I see red. And then Twan, you may see blue. And then I say, hey, I see red. And you say, I see blue. Well, who's right? Somebody comment, who's right? If I say I see red, Twan says he sees blue. Well, who's right in that particular instance? We both are. That's right. We're both right, because I do see red. He sees blue. But in order for me to connect with Twan, is I got to ask the question, hey, Twan, why do you see blue? I have to slow down enough, Twan, to say, why do you see blue? And what I find is what I found true is, I think it's Harry Truman that said it, that when we understand the other person's point of view, 9 times out of 10, we find out that they're trying to do the right thing. Now, I say 9 times out of 10 because there's always a case where somebody's not trying to do the right thing, right? But when we approach it like that, we say, hey, a follower uses their own perspective to connect with people, and the leader uses the other person's perspective to make the connection. And that's just what I found in my life, y'all. I'm not saying that, hey, this is the 100% truth and everything around it, but what I found is that if I want to be a leader, then I engage. And Twan, you brought that up. You lean in and you lean into the conversation.
Right. I mean, here's the thing. Anyone can talk, but are you really saying anything? I mean, literally, everyone can talk, but are you really saying anything? Are your words really making? Here, let me say this. Do your words really count? And what I've realized in my leadership is a lot of my words have flown over people's heads because I wasn't connecting. I was trying to direct. And when I focus on directing and telling you what you need to be doing, it creates separation between the people, because I'm so stuck on my own opinion and on my own views, I missed the mark so bad.
Yeah.
Because I'm not seeking to gain insight on where you stand. I'm taking a stand on my own, and it's either you with me or you're against me.
You know, very interesting you brought that up, man. I remember the first, and y'all gotta, you gotta pardon me for this journey here, because when I first started wanting to lead, I guess I wanted to manage at the time. You know, at the end of the day, Sam, you're in our group. I can be real with you, right? I really just wanted to make more money. That was my dominant motive at the time, right? But as I searched through this thing, it went from I wanted to make more money, but then I started thinking my internal desire was really, how do I help people? How do I help people get better? How do I help people engage? Because in the core of everything that now that we look to accomplish is helping more people get what they want, right? But I had to make a change. I had to make a shift. I ran into a brick wall because I was still confused, didn't know where to go. But at that time, I was asked, hey, do you have a growth plan? And I was sent to a 7 Habits of Highly Effective People class. And anybody know that book, if you read that book, hey, you can put on there, hey, I read it. It's by Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. But one of them, I remember, it says, seek first to understand before trying to be understood. And in that one chapter, or in that one thought process, is how do we seek first to understand before we try to be understood? And as I said at the beginning, hey, this is my journey, right? And it's a way, not the way, right? And you may have a better way, but as I thought about that, I just kind of think through what worked for me in my life was I seek first to understand before being understood. And it actually made my life a little easier in those crucial conversations, those crucial moments.
Yeah, no, that's good, because in leadership, one thing that we always teach from is you have to connect to the person's heart before you can ever ask for the person's hand. And how many of us are just seeking for the hand and trying to drag people onto what your beliefs are without ever connecting to the heart? And how long will that last? How long will that last until your values really collide against each other? And I love it because, listening to Pastor Miles McPherson, what he said yesterday is, when we get caught up in the us versus them mentality, the culture is now, if you're on one side, you can't speak and have your own voice or opinion on anything, or otherwise you're considered a sellout.
Yeah.
You're not considered a sellout because you still have some differences. And then what happens is when we pick one side, we get stuck in the box. And we get stuck in the box, and then now we can't even speak and think on our own.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that, right? I love, there's a comment that said, I don't drag, I coach from a heart-centered perspective, which is great, because now in that moment, and what that means to me, and I don't know if this meant what you put on there, but what it means to me is you let people self-discover, and you're not dragging them to a perspective, which is cool. People are a coach, help people self-discover through questions and not dragging them in a sense. And like I said, it's where I do appreciate that comment. And but Twan, he talked about the way I view people like me. We all have our own unconscious biases. And if you haven't heard it, hey, check it out. I looked, a couple of points he put on there is, I am more comfortable with those like me, which is true. Hey, all of these are true. I am more inclined to spend time socially with those who are like me. And I am more patient with those who are like me. And you know what? I'm comfortable like that because for me, it gives me a certain amount of comfort to be around people like me. I mean, I think that we all seek a comfort zone. But what we're talking about today is, how do we become uncomfortable with being, become comfortable with being uncomfortable, and enlarging our outlook and enlarging our thoughts, right? And that's just that perspective number one that he talked about. And perspective number two, Twan, you know, he says the way I view people not like me, the outer group, right? And I think that's where you get the blind spots. That's where we as leader, me as a leader, I ain't gonna say we because I'm not gonna speak for you, but me as a leader, I have blind spots. And you know, if I'm thinking from a leadership perspective, my blind spot is asking the question is, what is it like being on the other side of my leadership, where I may think that I'm very diverse and I'm including you in the conversation, but you may not feel that you're included in the conversation. So what I'm thinking, Twan, is I move from a shift from the regular golden rule is treat others like you want to be treated, or me treat others like I want to be treated, to treating others like they want to be treated. But I can't treat you like you want to be treated unless I engage in a conversation with you and I ask questions and I seek to understand your point of view and your side of the story, because we all have a story.
Yeah. Hey, you know, I referenced this, so you guys can type, if you guys want to type this in, this was some notes that I created, Corey created last night. We love our little slogans that we do. But the us and them versus mentality is what we call living life in 2D, right? And the 2D life is where we're so focused on division and differences, which creates dysfunction. That's what happens. When I'm living in a 2D life where I'm constantly looking for division and differences between us versus them, I'm taking sides. And what happens, it creates dysfunctional relationships. And that's why it's so important for us to be very careful on how we start seeing things, because the way we see things is the way we do things. It's all about perspective, right? Insight is better than eyesight. If I look at the media right now, if I turn on the news, is insight more important than eyesight? Because eyesight's telling me one thing, but if I really seek for understanding and gain insight in the matter, I would really get some clarity on what's really going on. And here's the thing. What's that?
No, go ahead.
Oh, until we gain understanding because of insight, we're destined to repeat the same thing over and over again. Nothing changes because of that one principle. No understanding.
Yeah, you know what? I love that, because I would tell you this is I give myself a pass, Twan. You know, and I give myself a pass on the journeys, because here's the deal. I judge myself on my intentions. Like if you tell me, hey, Corey, you offended me, or you did this, and you holding me accountable, I'm gonna say, hey, look, I didn't believe I did it. This is not what I was trying to do. Here's what I was trying to do. I'm gonna explain everything what I was trying to do. And I want you to feel my perspective. I want you to see my perspective, because I'm judging myself on my intentions. But here's what I found, y'all, where my blind spot was.
Come on.
I judge you on your actions. And that wasn't right. It just wasn't right. It wasn't right that I was inconsistent with judging myself on my intentions and judging other people on their actions. And I said, you know, in my mind, I was like, well, you did this, you did that. This is what you meant. I told myself a story about what you meant. And the problem is a lot of it was from text conversations, email conversations, social media conversations. And there's no way you can convey real emotion. There's no way you can convey real context. And for me, I spun myself out of control because I was just judging people on their actions, what you said, what you did. But in the same sense, I was so inconsistent with me because I was judging myself on my intentions.
Teach.
And it just didn't allow me to connect. You feel it as well, Sam. And I'm telling you, y'all, that was a real moment, a real blind spot moment for me, because I had a singular perspective and I was not open to see the other person's point of view. I
had to say, ouch, ouch.
Yeah. You know what I think about, Corey, you know, for some of you guys that are just, you know, that don't really know my story, you know, I spent about 10 years in prison, and I you know, I remember the first day when I went into prison, and some of you guys know this experience right here, where I went to go sit down at a table, and automatically someone came and told me, like, you can't sit there, bro. I'm like, what do you mean? There's no one sitting there. these tables were assigned according to color. And if I wasn't affiliated, I had no right to sit at these tables. Let me remind you, there's not a lot of Asian people in prison. So guess who I was more affiliated with? Was it black? Was it white? Was it Hispanic? But I'm proving a very valid point, because even in prison, we're so segregated by color. You know what people call me as my nickname in prison? Chino. They don't call me by my real name. Some of my best black friends, I just call them, what's up, black? Because the culture that teaches us that. And I experienced that in prison, where there's so much segregation, even in the prison culture, where me, since I'm Asian, I have liberty to associate with black, white, and Mexicans or Hispanics. But for a white person to associate with blacks and Hispanics, red flag.
Wow.
But I'm just speaking truth. This is my experience. Why was I more socially acceptable in the black community in prison, and the white community, and the Hispanic community? But when it came to me joining a gang, I had to ride with the Hispanics. I couldn't ride with the blacks. I couldn't ride with the whites. I was the minority. But once again, my skin color fits closer to Hispanic. Ooh, I wasn't even expecting to share that.
So you had to choose a side.
I had to choose a side.
And I think we get pitted in this corner of choosing a side, y'all. And I had this thing that came to me. This thought process was, do I have another choice? I think and then coming out of yesterday's teaching from Miles McPherson, the third, I think his book is called The Third Choice. What is it? Third option. We do have a third option. And the epiphany I got out of that was, it's kind of like if I'm playing cards. I don't know if you played cards, and when you're playing spades, you get that hand that you dealt. It's a trash hand. Anybody had a trash hand on spades, right? And you're like, well, I guess I just gotta play the card, play the hand I'm dealt. But hey, what if you could find a way to throw that card back? Maybe you got 14 cards. I think it's 13, right? I haven't played in a while, but you find a way to throw the cards in and say, look, I need another deck. Is there a way that you could throw the deck of cards, a deck of thoughts processes back in and say, well, you know what? Can I challenge this one belief system that I have? And I found that great growth, and I know that it was mentioned earlier, growth happens outside of the comfort zone. But what I found was great growth in me happened when I challenged my own personal belief system. See, I challenged my own thoughts. I challenged my own convictions. And some of those things came back to say, okay, still it stands true. But then some of them came back to say, no, that's not true anymore to me. Then I have a choice, Twan, Stephanie and Kim, all of y'all in the room. I had a choice. Do I stay consistent with something that was inconsistent with my thought process in order to remain that I looked consistent in front of people? Or do I change? Do I change? Do I make the change, the strategic changes necessary for me to live out what's true to me today? And those are those tough decisions, because that's like, for me, that's like my third option. In order for me to grow and to be and to develop, there's some beliefs I had to challenge, some competing commitments I had to challenge, some competing thought processes that I had to challenge to open up my mind. It's like renewing your mind. We use that, renewing your mind. We are putting old wineskins in new wineskins. They'll burst, right? And for those who believers, that, hey, that came from the Bible. But if you're not a Christian like me or read the Bible, you can just think about it. You can't put new stuff in old stuff. Or I heard it this way: once the mind is expanded to a place, you can't retract it again. So you got to make a choice. How do I move forward in that? So let's kind of talk about the leadership perspective, Twan, as you think about this, as we wrap this up, a little bit more about the leadership perspective about finding people. Because you talked about this, finding people before you lead them. How do we find our people to lead them well?
Well, so you guys typed this in the chat box. You got to be part of the solution and not part of the pollution. All right. It's simple. Are we part of the solution or are we part of the pollution? That's step number one, right? Is I have to lead through connecting and not lead by assumptions. Assumptions is the mother of all mishaps. It's the greatest gap in communication today is when I lead by pure assumptions. Number one, Corey, I have to say that we have to admit that we all have blind spots. Here's what happens. What is a blind spot? A blind spot is an area in my life that I'm not able to see. And here's what happens in leadership. If I'm operating in blind spots and I'm in leadership, what happens is I create an environment where blind spots are acceptable. We teach what we know, we reproduce who we are. Mic drop.
Yeah. You know, and what I would add on there, just from a leadership perspective, and remember, we're talking about A way, not D way on this. This is our journey, y'all. And I think about trust is built on difficult ground. And, you know, for me, I got to understand that I got to build trust on difficult ground. A lot of the difficult ground comes in is me asking those questions, taking the time to listen to other people, taking a seat before I take a stand for something, you know, sitting down and, hey, let's have a talk about it. Let's chat. Let's understand, how do I build trust with you? Because there's a certain thing called the speed of trust. Okay.
Come on.
If you're a business owner, you're a leader, you're running a team, trust has a certain speed. It has a certain cadence to it. And that cadence and that speed, it determines the momentum of your business. Okay. So it works on all different aspects. When trust goes down, speed goes down and cost goes up. When trust is up, speed is up, cost goes down. And here's an example. You know, after 9/11, right before 9/11, let's just go back there. Rewind the tape. If you could rewind the tape prior to 9/11, if you went to an airport, you found out that you got on an airplane fairly easy. Okay. There was not a lot of TSA agents. There was not a lot of police. There weren't people walking around with guns and dogs and searching everything and doing all this other stuff and winding you through all of these different lanes. But what happened was when 9/11 happened, trust went down, speed went down, costs went up, profits went down. So in all those little different aspects, you got to think to myself, if I'm a leader, if I'm leading my team, if I'm looking to grow my business, expand my impact, or even grow my influence, is building trust. And when you think about building trust, there's 3 questions people ask of their leader when they're thinking about trust. I'm gonna give you those 3 questions. There's 3 questions people ask. And as a leader, for me, I have to think in the lens of those 3 questions. And question number 1 is, do you like me? You know, they're wondering, do I have a relationship with you? Do you care for me? Are you there for me? Do you like me? Are you in general? Because I found I can't lead anybody if I don't like them. The question number 2 is, can you help me? Can you make me better? Can you get me to the next level? You know, can you help me improve? Do you have the competence to help me improve wherever state I am in my life? And then the third question they're asking is, can I trust you? And I think, you know, that's where I'm talking about the trust being built on difficult ground. Do you have the character that I'm looking for in a leader? You know, you know, your people will never give the best to you if they don't believe the best in you. See, trust brings out the best in people. It brings out the best in me. It brings out the best in the team. And I found it true in my leadership journey of leading people for the last 20 plus years in corporations, in corporate America, in military, and in church. Okay. Those 3 questions always rung true in my life.
Good stuff. Hey, I don't know if you guys need to type that in the Facebook live stream, is those 3 questions. I want to add this, Corey. So, I speak a lot from a foundation of faith. A lot of my leadership is from the Bible. But, once again, I never impose my belief on anyone. I rather just model that leadership just through my walk, and you guys know me. I try to be authentic as possible without ever trying to impose what I believe. And that gets hard sometimes, right? Because I'm convicted about what I believe, but a lot of times I can't impose that because of the perspective shift, right? A lot of us are willing to make a stand for what we believe in. What I'm asking for you today is not just make a stand. I need you to make a step forward. Don't get stuck in making a stand. I need you to step forward towards reaching your brothers and sisters. So here, let's do this. Coming from a biblical foundation, and I think a lot of leaders speak from the same place with this principle, to love your neighbor as yourself. With that, I want to ask this question. What defines a neighbor? Do they look like me? Or they don't look like me? Let's define what a neighbor looks like. Let's define what my brother and sister looks like. When we talk about I am my brother's keeper, what does my brother look like? Is he black? Is he white? Is he Asian? Is he Hispanic? Or is he all colors? And until we get that straight, we're going to constantly be going back and forth with the us versus them mentality. People like me and people not like me.
Yeah. The switch I made, Twan, is just, how do I see a 10 on everybody's head? They're attending something, and then start looking at them as humans first, and then shifting my perspective of that. Just so good, man. So good. So really, man, as we wrap this up, we don't want to take too much of y'all's time. We want to just give you like a quick insight and then follow it up with another one next week. And I think that I love the comments. I'm reading some of these comments, and about don't just take a stand, take a step. This is where being heart-centered coach is so important. Connecting with the heart to heart. Man, we just appreciate you all diving in and just letting it, letting the conversation flow within the context of the comments. And we appreciate each one of you all for joining us. And I will tell you that there's always a next step. There's always a next step when you operate with us. Is that as we give these next steps, you may want to say, hey, how do I get this, and how do I show this to other people, or how do I re-watch this actual session, or even other sessions that we may have? Well, we've built a solid platform for you, and focused on you, focused on the people that we're connected with, the community that we're connected with, to ensure that we're able to continue to try to make the attempt to add value to you. And that's the whole thing, is how do we add value to you where you can go multiply value to other people. And part of that is what we refer to as our leadership masterclass series. And that's part of our platform that we have. We have a leadership masterclass series where, if possible, I don't know if Twan, you're able to share your screen, but if you are, you can just share that slide, and I can just I'll walk you through what that leadership masterclass series is all about. And just let me know if you can do that.
You have the option to share on your side, Corey.
Cool, perfect. Yeah, I can do that right here. You all right? Let's see here. So let me just share my screen with you all as I share this leadership masterclass series. So what this is this leadership masterclass series. Can you see my screen, Twan? All right, there it is.
Yeah.
I can see it. So leadership masterclass series is here's what you're going to get with the leadership masterclass series. For one, you're going to get access to the archived leadership keynote calls. As of right now, it's a $199 value. And the reason why I say that is because right now we have two leadership archive calls on there, and one masterclass series from last week's, the video calls. What you'll get right now is 4 keys to owning your dream keynote call, the impact shift, which is shifting from transformational leaders to trained leaders. And then you also would get why every leader needs to shift. And you also would get this one for the day. The second thing you'll get is access to all added content. So not only you get the access to the archive leadership calls at the $199 value, you get access to all added content. This will be an added content. There will be some more added content that we keep popping inside the platform that you'll get access to. And I don't know the value of that just yet, so I didn't put it on there. But you'll get the Leadership Masterclass Facebook Live series, which is here, right here. Our time is valuable. Your time is valuable. And if you look at it, for me, I have over 20-something years of corporate, military, and church experience. Twan has a big, a large level experience where he's at as well. Think about it. The social media branding, all the things that he's doing, I'm telling you, he can significantly grow your influence with everything that he's doing as well. These calls we normally would charge $99 for, right, Twan? I mean, you know, this is us taking our time out of our day and you taking your time out of your day. You also get access not only to the archive leadership calls, the added content every time, the masterclass Facebook Live series, but the community of like-minded leaders. Okay, I put unlimited value because how much value is it that you expanding your circle? See, think about that circle that you have. You are the sum of the 5 people that you hang around with. And is your 5 alive? Thought that may rhyme, y'all. So I got a couple of laughs there. Just like to have some fun. The next thing is not only the leadership keynote calls, the added content, the Facebook Live series, the like-minded leaders. You get to network with other leaders in the community. We have a comment section there for you. You get to network. We're gonna respond. I respond to those comments as I get them, and then you get all this total value is $298. Okay, but here's the deal. Let me ask you a question though. If all this did is it finally got you to a platform to grow yourself. What I mean by that is a platform that you can grow yourself, you can develop yourself, you can learn in a way that works for you on demand. Will it be worth it? Will it be worth it to spend that? Just think about it. The other thing is what if all this did was help you influence and lead better? What I mean by that, grow you in your career, make you a better person in your relationships, and help you grow and help you ignite the flame in other people. Will it be worth it? And then last but not least is if all this did was give you the ability to have all of your development content in one place where you can get the app on your phone, you can access it on your phone, you can access it on your computer, you have everything in one place. And you also have an ability to show other people and help other people along the journey. So say, for instance, you're able to show some of your team or let them listen into some of the archive calls that you like to help develop your team, because that's where we found the real development comes in, when you develop your team. Will it be worth it? And if it answers was yes, it will be worth it for $298. Well, guess what? We're gonna give it to you for free. So you're gonna get started now by clicking the link, or actually, I would just tell you this: is put in the comments that, hey, I want more information, or hey, send me more. We will send you more information on how you can get started within this Master Series program, and it's free. Okay, it's totally free. So, and we thought about that because what we wanted to do is give you something for being in these sessions with us and being a part of the journey. Because what we're looking for, y'all, is at the end of the day, we're looking for fellow travelers. We're not looking for fans. We're actually looking for friends. And, when I told my story earlier, and I said, hey, at the beginning of my leadership journey, I was looking to make more money. I was looking to have more authority over people. But then as I journeyed throughout that, and I read more, and I found out more about what leadership is all about, my internal desire was really to help people. And what really changed my life is I listened to Zig Ziglar a lot of times in my life, and I said, hey, what is this guy all about? How's he attracting people? And then the one quote that he said was, if you help enough people get what they want, they'll help you get what you want. And it's not about me doing something for you to doing it back for me. What it was if I help you get what you want and I don't even care about you giving me anything in return, then I'll get everything that I want. And part of that was inner peace, inner joy, inner happiness. And that's what I found along my journey as I walk through this journey. And what we want to do is just give it back to you. And for those who may not have a platform where you can learn, you can develop, you can grow, well, this can be your platform. And it's because it's absolutely free. I'm just telling you that it's absolutely free. Okay. And if you put all your in the comments, I'll send you the link where you can sign up, because I'm not going to just broadcast it out because this is not for everybody. And I understand that. But it's for those who want to take a journey alongside of a group of community of people who are seeking to make a difference. And I'll end it with this: is I want to make a difference with people who make a difference, doing something that makes a difference at a time that makes a difference. And if that's you, if you're a difference maker, hey, hit out. I want more info. We'll send you that. And if not, hey, just continue to join our Facebook Live series. Just continue to join into this and be a part of what we're trying to accomplish in today's world.
Yeah, I love it, bro. I love it. Did you script that? That was phenomenal. The only thing that was missing with that right there was maybe like a bouncing ball with like some subtitles. I think that would have really brought some really more clarity for someone that maybe is is not maybe as quick to hear what you're saying, but maybe good at seeing what you're saying. So we're gonna work on that next time with a bouncing ball with subtitles with a call to action. All right. What do you guys think about that?
That's so funny.
Hey, no, I love it, Corey. No, I mean, these groups, these mastermind groups, our group coaching. Here's what I want you guys to know. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. And I think the humility factor for us, if we were to take one thing from this call, is you need to let people know that you need them this week. Okay. And that's what I mean by don't just take a stand. I need you to take a step forward. Let people know that you need them.
Wow.
How important is that message for you to take on this week? Is letting people know I need you. It's not about me. I need you.
I don't, I love that. I'm speechless on it. There's not a lot of times where I don't have anything to say. But I need you too, bro. I'll tell you that. I need you. I need all those, Sam, Stephanie, Travis, Sarah, Najiva, John, Kim, Mindy, all those who commented on our Facebook Live as well. We need you. We can't do it without you. This thing is bigger than us, and we need you. So
we need all of you. And it's not black and white, it's color. Everybody's of color. And we need to learn how to just accept and value each and every single one of us, because look, at the end of the day, we have way more in common than that one difference, whether it be the Houston Texans versus Dallas Cowboys, whether I watch CNN versus Fox. Let's unite in the things that we do have in common. And I'm gonna wrap it up with this. We were all created in the image of God. Can we accept each other like that as a brother and sister and move on?
Love it. Well, hey, thank you all, Facebook family, for joining in. We do appreciate you all for joining as well. And we'll see you next week for those who join in for our next week's call.
All right. You guys be safe. What is that, Corey?
Hey, stay safe, stay sane, stay sanitized. Be well.